Alright guys, coming to you live from the 6th floor of Cronkite Building in a lonely Edit Bay with Anthony here. We are about to do our top 10 for the new draft coming up. How you doing, Anthony?
Not too bad, not too bad. Just been looking at this, at the draft order, and I gotta say, it's gonna be shaping up to be a good one. I'm really excited about it.
It's going to be a very interesting draft with big QB names, just big names all around. So let's start off with number 1, the Cleveland Browns. Who do you think they're going to take?
Well, since they have the number 1 and number 4 pick, I gotta go with a running back. I think Saquon Barkley is gonna be the guy. He's gonna be the next big thing to enter the NFL, and you see that kind of a caliber of a player. That is just Hall of Fame material. Just watching him throughout last season, I think he is the number 1 to go off the draft, and then because I think you got that number 4 spot, I think that's easy. You have a lot of talented QBs out there. I think it's perfect for them to just go out, get a running back first pick, and then 4, you're gonna at least have at least 3 of them out there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that Saquon's a good player, maybe the best player in the draft, but he shouldn't go number 1. There's never going to be a running back to go number 1 again. It's just not. You have to pick the most important player, who is the quarterback of every NFL team, and the best quarterback in this draft is Sam Darnold. He has a big arm. He's strong. He can play up in the Cleveland weather. He will do great. So Saquon is not going to be number 1 for me.
But how about all the past years? The past, 4 or 5 years, the Browns have taken a quarterback with the first overall pick, and I don't think one of them is even in the NFL anymore or doing anything.
I agree. That's why I'm saying not to pick Josh Allen. That's why I'm saying not Josh Allen, because Josh Allen, I've heard that they want to pick Josh Allen. And Sam Darnold you're right, his ceiling might not be as high, but his basement's not as low as Josh Allen's either. He's going to be a good player. He might be an Andrew Luck. The worst that he could be is probably more like a Matt Stafford. So he'll still be a good QB no matter what.
All right. Let's hop over to the 2nd overall pick with the Giants. Who do you have them taking?
The New York Giants, I have taking Saquon Barkley. He's the best player in the draft. He's going to make an impact no matter where he goes. He'll help out Eli Manning in his aging career. I don't think they want a quarterback just yet. They still think Davis Webb could do something, so definitely Saquon.
Yeah, when I look at the Giants, their top 3 needs are running back, offensive line, and quarterback. I mean, Eli Manning, I'm sure, still has an easy 2-3 years left. I mean, he still wants to keep playing, and he made that pretty obvious. So you can stay away from a quarterback this first round. But yeah, I mean, if the Browns don't get Saquon with the first pick, I think he definitely goes to New York. I mean, if they don't get Saquon, I think they're gonna get the guard out of Notre Dame, Quentin Nelson, because they do need power up front, and to have a good run game, you have to have a good O-line.
Yeah, and the O-line, it's hard to miss on a draft pick with an O-lineman.
Yeah, because it's like loading up the bank. I mean, it's gonna help regardless.
It's good, but yeah, I think they need to make a splash here just because of the Giants, and they rarely have number 2. Mm-hmm. So now let's go over to the other team in New York then. The Jets, who traded up to get this pick, who do you think they're going to trade up to get?
You know, I think they traded up for one reason. I think it's to get a quarterback. Now, Teddy Bridgewater is a good player. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he's gonna be the guy going into it just to start off with. But the fans are gonna want excitement, and granted, Teddy can bring that. But I think they're gonna go. I think the Jets are gonna grab probably Josh Rosen or Baker Mayfield. I'm leaning more towards Josh Rosen.
Really, Josh Rosen?
Yeah, I mean Watching him over the last year, he was just throwing up some numbers that were pretty unique. Though he does have an injury problem, I think this Jets team doesn't have too many holes. And I think with them, I say go out and get another top receiver, maybe in the 2nd or 3rd round, and you have that first round quarterback you got. I think this team could be something good next year.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that Jets could turn it around. They have 2 quarterbacks right now, both older quarterbacks. But I think they're a little enamored with Baker Mayfield, so I think they might try and go for him. Josh Rosen would be a good fit for New York, but he could be the next Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, he could actually be the next Sam Bradford.
Yeah.
He could be really good, and he has all the talents, but he can't stay on the field, so he can't do much. So I'm really torn between the 2. I think Rosen's better, but I can't tell with that injury history. So I'm gonna say they're gonna pick up probably Baker Mayfield on that one.
All right. Now, I already gave my take on this when you asked me number 1 was going to be for the Browns, but now we're on number 4. I want to hear your opinion. Who do you think they're going to grab with the 4th pick?
I think this one's easy. You got to go with Brandon Chubb. You got to go with Brandon Chubb. That's what makes this...
Bradley?
Or Bradley Chubb.
Bradley Chubb.
Right, excuse me.
You're good.
But, yeah, you just got to go with them because if you're going to have 2 top 5 picks, the 2 things you really need on one side of the football for offense, quarterback. The other side, what do you need? Someone to rush the quarterback. So that's why they need Bradley Chubb, and they could be there for 10 years.
And you had him with Myles Garrett already there. That's going to be
Good
dangerous.
Point.
That's going to be very dangerous.
So do you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. If they were to get a quarterback in the first pick with the first pick, they will most likely go another pass rusher. Because the Browns are really close. I think. I mean, watching them last year, they had some really great talent. I mean, their offense and their defense is almost complete. They're just missing that quarterback.
Yeah.
If they can get a quarterback that can really take command of that offense, then I mean, the sky's the limit for this team. They should make a splash next year in the league. I mean, they just got Jarvis Landry and they got Josh Gordon already. And those 2 are both pretty good ball players.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right, so for number 5, who do you have?
Well, we got the Broncos at number 5. No decision here. Quarterback. I know I'm a big Case Keenum fan, and I hope he does really well. Like he's been a baller. He's been a fighter. I mean, he knows the situation. Like every team he goes to, and I feel bad because he always has that whole mindset to prove himself. When it's like, bro, you just took your team, the last team, to the NFC Championship, and that still wasn't enough. He gets dealt away. So. But I mean, I'm pulling for him, but I just can't see the Browns going anywhere else with this pick than a quarterback. And I think they're going to pick up. I think Baker Mayfield is going to be the pick for them. I think he would bring a lot of excitement to that team. I mean, this defense is still pretty good. They definitely lost some key players in the free agency and over the couple of years, but I mean, I think Baker Mayfield would be a good fit for this team.
So yeah, I'm agreeing with you on that one with the Broncos. I think John Elway being in charge up there, he's gonna definitely pick a quarterback. I don't think Case Keenum is anywhere near to be their savior. I think it's more of a holdover guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So whoever the Jets pick, let's say they pick Baker or they say Rosen, I think Denver's going to pick the other of the 2. Mm-hmm. So I think they're going to get a quarterback, but I think they're going to have to choose between who's left on the board. But we haven't really mentioned Josh Allen much, and you never know. He could come up big. A lot of GMs are looking at him really heavily, so I don't know how anyone feels about him in the Denver Bronco camp, but you always have to think he could just make a splash in one of these picks, so we don't know.
All right, so moving on to number 6 with the Colts. Who do you have them taking?
So the Colts are definitely rebuilding, but they're rebuilding around a good player, and Andrew Luck's coming back. They have a new GM, so they're going to do things differently. They traded back with this pick, so I think they're going to just do the smart thing and get a guard, try and protect Andrew Luck so he doesn't get hurt again. Quentin Nelson from Notre Dame looks like the guy that they're going to pick, so I don't see why they wouldn't. It's not the best, or it's not the most splashy pick, but it might be the best for their future.
Yeah, you gotta help out that O-line. I mean, they have, even when Andrew Luck was playing, it was just, they've never really had any big names on there. They've always just been very, very mediocre, and I think so too. They have to go O-line this year. You have to just load up the bank with these guys, and because I see the Colts as actually a lot of holes in this team, and they're gonna have to make some splashes.
Yeah.
But first things first, you have to protect your quarterback.
Yeah. So for number 7, it's in Florida with Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I was doing some research on this team. I think offensive-wise, they're pretty set. They have a nice O-line. They have a franchise quarterback in Jameis Winston and some great receivers. I think this pick is going to be solely on defense, and you got T.J. Ward back there, but I mean, is he gone? I'm not even sure if he's gone yet. So I think they go.
He's getting old.
He's old. So even if he's still there, you got to find a replacement, a successor to him. And I think two names that come to my head is Minkah Fitzpatrick and Derwin James out of Florida State.
Derwin.
Those two are both just absolute animals. So I think they can go either way. I'm going to lean towards Minkah Fitzpatrick because just watching him in the college playoffs and then throughout the whole season, that fool's just an animal.
And he was just head of that Alabama defense for Nick Saban, and like Nick Saban said he was his son, so you definitely know he was working hard
Yeah.
Nick Saban wouldn't say that about someone that doesn't work hard.
Exactly.
So you got to trust out Minka. I think they might go with a quarterback, but I think that they're more like Denzel Ward out of Ohio State.
Yeah.
He had a great year. So, but I do agree it's going to be someone on defense. I think they need to get their defense kind of straight. But, this is a draft conversation, but their offense isn't looking good either.
It's really
I
not.
don't really trust.
It's weird because they have the names.
I don't trust famous Jameis, but yeah, they have big names. I don't know how they're feeling about him, but yeah, I think defense is where they're going to go.
Yeah, I think give this offense another year, another go at it, and because they were projected to be one of the top teams in their division last year, and they really won any games.
Well, they had Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson and Mike Evans.
They just
did nothing.
They weren't ready for it. It was weird.
Yeah, I think it's just maybe with them it'll just take another year to get going to click. I don't know.
It all comes down to Jameis,
So. On to 8 with the Bears. Who do you got them taking?
The Bears are a hard one for me to really judge because I'm not so sure what they need because they need everything.
They need everything. They need receivers. I watched a game with them a year last season, and I don't think I've seen so many drops by receivers.
Yeah, and their quarterback wasn't playing good. It was his first year. I don't even remember Mitchell Trubisky. He came out of the draft looking good, but he did not have a good year.
They're going to give him another year or two, though, to just try to prove himself.
So, for their pick, I think they're going to go with Tremaine Edmonds. He's an inside linebacker out of Virginia Tech. He had a great year. He has all the tangibles. He ran a 4.5. He's 6'5". He's 250. So, he has everything you need to be an NFL linebacker. Mm-hmm. We'll just see if it translates to the next level, but I think you got to pick him.
I think you have to go front seven. I don't know anyone on that team, front seven that made plays or anything. So I'm thinking.
And we're talking about the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears.
The Bears.
They're supposed to be known for defense. So I'm gonna go. I think they're gonna get either a big run blocker or run stopper up front. When that pick to me is Vita Vea out of Washington. Mm. When you're looking at that guy, he is an absolute force. And I hope he lasts a little bit longer for my hometown team to get him, but I doubt that'll happen. So I think the Bears go with Vita Vea on 8.
All right. So for number 9, who do you have?
49ers. This team is right there on the cusp of being great. I say with them, though, they, what would really make a good splash for me is if they went for a receiver. They have, his name's Marquise Goodwin.
Yeah.
He just got paid out. He's a good receiver, really good young guy. But, other than that, I don't know anyone else.
Yeah. Well, the thing about the Niners is their offense is it could be so good.
Yeah.
Because they have such a good coach, and now you got Jimmy G locked up.
You're going to need to give him weapons.
Yeah, so you need to give him weapons, but he might just be able to make weapons. They went 5-0 when he was playing last year.
I know. They beat some
won
good
6
teams.
games, but
they beat the Jaguars.
Yeah.
They beat the Rams. It
was
like, wow, this is crazy.
Good. So I think they're gonna go more defense. If Minka hasn't been picked up, there's always you could look at Roquan Smith.
That is true.
Roquan Smith out of Georgia, who played great all the way up to the championship. They had a great year. He was one of the leaders on the team. So. Going that way, I would have to say one of those 2 players. It's hard to toss because you just don't know where these camps want to go, and now we're just kind of thinking who's going to be picked and who's not.
Mm-hmm. All right, on to number 10 with the Raiders. Who do you have them taking? They had a slightly disappointing year from what they had hoped last year.
The Raiders, I don't know so much about the Raiders. They're going to have to go defense. So I'm going to have to say either, once again, Edmonds or Fitzpatrick or Smith. They have to pick up one of those 3 players, and whichever 3 haven't been picked up. I hope the Raiders get Fitzpatrick, but I think he's going to be gone. I think he's going to be gone, and they probably feel a little put out because they lost this pick on a flip of a coin, if you remember.
Yeah, that's kind of brutal when that's how it works. I would think, they have to go defense. Their defense was just getting torched last year. I would say inside linebacker. My pick is either Tremaine Edmonds or Roquan Smith. I think those are your I think those are the only two options that they need. They need a linebacker up front, and I think a presence like that would really change your whole defense.
Yeah. And, I mean, that's the top 10 we have right now, but to think about things we didn't really mention is, once again, we didn't have Josh Allen going in the top 10.
Yeah, we did not.
Yeah, and a lot of people have him going really high. So, and a lot of people just, because he was ranked 36, now he's 14, now they say he's top 5. So he could go, and you never know who could also trade up for a pick they think is going to change their team.
Yeah. Well, technically, I said I think Josh Allen goes forward to Cleveland. That's I hinted it. I don't think I mentioned the name, but that is. No. I'll bring it back up. That I said
they gotta go Darnold. They gotta go Darnold Chubb. If they don't go Darnold Chubb, they deserve to lose for the next 10 years.
Barkley and Allen. That is mine.
Darnold Chubb. We got Barkley and Allen. We're gonna sign out here. Everyone have a good time. Have a great draft.
Yep.